Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the S&P 500 here. What we were talking about last time is we're talking about do we have wave 3 high in here, and if so, then we'll be pulling back to the 23 area through here, the 2,300. So we've either got that 3 in place here, but the trouble with calling this top in here is that I don't have enough evidence of a move down just of significance just yet. If the market found the 22,400 here as the retested resistance, then we can look at this space down here. Because the tricky thing is that if we call this wave 3 and wave 4 here, then we don't know if we should have wave 4 here. So what that does, it's just not clear enough here, and there's errors in different ways of calling things. So I don't know if this is wave 4 or this is wave 4. If this is wave 4 here, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have a top in place. If this is wave 4 here, then we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 here, and then up for wave 5 here. And that's what we talked about last time we spoke, I think. And yeah, so even though we've got wave 4 here and so on, I can't confirm that yet. We could get a new high coming in here first. So if the 2400 here becomes the retested resistance, then we know that we're on our way down at that point, okay? So we just need to be a little bit careful up here, and I'll just go in and explain that again. So with wave 4 being here, we can have wave 1 and 2, which is fine, then wave 3 here, and that would suit the Nasdaq because that's what the Nasdaq was doing. It had a really strong wave 3, so that's why it's possible to have this here. But the wave 4 here overlaps wave 1 here, so it breaks an Elliott rule here. So that's there's a problem with that, and then we can call this wave 5 up here. But if that's not the case, then we need to call this wave 1 here, this wave 2 here, this wave 3 here, and this ABC here for wave 4 here, and then we look for wave 5 up here. We talked last time about the market moving down into the 2410 area here and trying not to overlap this one here again as well. So we're either in intermediate wave 4 or we're in this wave 4, and wave 4s can be messy and complicated, and they require more patience. So it's a time to reduce any position sizing or trades and so on. But if we look at this here as the situation, then what we could do here is that we're either going to go straight up from here, yeah, or this wave 4 could get a bit more complicated, but it does suit quite nicely as an A wave here, and then an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave, and down for the C wave here, and finishing here. A little bit complicated, and you could count that differently there as well. So it can be finished here. It also can mean that this particular wave 4 here could get a bit more sideways and complicated. I just don't know. The other thing, if it was going to get bearish from here, then it's going to move off this low back to this this level here, the 50-60% retracement level. We can look at that again in a moment, and then down from that point. So this is where we need to be a little bit careful. So I'll just go to the hourly chart here. The Dow Jones has pretty much got the same sort of thing here as well. So if we look at this like this here, then the move down from here down to here is 5 waves. So we need to see, this is the 61.8% retracement level. So we're looking for a move into this level here. We also know from the trading levels concept is that from 2400 here, then we've got group 1, which is 10, 20, and 30. And if we find a tested support on 30, then we're going to be bullish at that point. So what we normally do with the 61.8% here, if the move up into this space here is corrective, like in 3 waves sort of thing like this, then and it gets here, then it's likely that because it's in 3 waves to the box, then we're likely to be bearish at that point. That's something that we need to figure out once we get there. If we get 5 waves up here into the box, then we're going to be bullish from that point, because obviously we're going to have an ABC correction back again, and then we're going to be moving up here. And it does appear that we're going to get this here from what I can see here so far. We can have a closer look at that in a moment. But even so, even once we get the first 5 waves up here, realize that there's going to be a corrective pattern at the 24.30 that can pull back. You can work it out at the time when it gets from that low to that high, bring back 50-60%, but certainly expect the 24.20 to be tapped into, you know. And then if support is found on here, then you'll know that we can push up from that point. You know, not all the markets were weak. The Dow Jones has got this same pattern here. The Russell is moving up, pretty much doing what the banks are doing, you know. Just as an example, this is Citigroup here, so it's on a daily chart here, and we can see, you know, that you know, it's trending up nicely. So it's not doing what you know, the S&P is doing, so to speak, you know. And here's Morgan's as well here, because we were looking at Morgan's before as an A, and this is just a 1 hour chart, but an A and a B and a C wave here, as wave 4, and going into making new highs here. So we're certainly on track with this here. So the banks do have higher to go. This wave 4 here may get more complicated. We may end up with an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here, but that's for another discussion. But you know, new highs have to be made here at some point, because this is in 3 waves here. So I've got that kind of bullish inclination with the banking sector there. So it's quite, even though this looks quite dramatic here and bearish, you know, there's a good case for this to be a low in place here. So if we just go into the tick chart and just explore that little this scenario here, I can see that we got wave 1 and 2 in here, and wave 3 up here, and wave 4 here, and so we're probably going up for wave 5. So it really is like we're getting 5 waves up into the box here, and if that's the case, then it can pull back to this space here. So yeah, what I can say is obviously not to buy in the box, because it's going to turn back at that point. But the first point to be made here is that any time in the future that this has got the support at the top of group 1 here, the 30 has got support, then you'd go for that point. But I think what will happen is that the market will move up here, then it will move back maybe into the 20 here, and then move up from that point. So you've got yourself a trade at that point, at the break here. You would also have, there's going to be more of a kerfuffle around here as well. But, you know, moving in on support here is another entry point here as well. Yeah, it's got to be just allow this little structure here to finish here, to retrace. And if you know the ABC correction and you can pin that down, well, then you'll be able to get in lower. You may even take the risk and buy on the turn here if you can see it, you know, if you can see the 5 waves in this last leg here being wave C. So that's what I think. But at the end of the day, if the group 1 here becomes support, then you need to be long from that point. You know, when we look at the Dow Jones as well, I mentioned that it's got the same, this is the DJ for 1 hour here, so it's got the same thing happening here as well. So yeah, it's quite a nice count as an A wave here, then an A and a B and a C. I think this is the best count, but there can be other counts, and also this whole thing here can become messy as well. But I like the DJ. It's in it's in a nice trend up, and I kind of know where it is. I know that the 21,500 here, 5 being the second strongest number, that we would have some correction from here. It would be the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, finding support in group 1 here, the 2 here, the pivot within group 1 here of 100, 200 and 300. The 200 hasn't become the retested resistance. If that pivot became the retested resistance, then I would also know that we've got a bearish model count at that point. But from here, this is just all this. What's occurring here is all just a natural pattern and movement that I would expect coming up to this level here. It's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, kind of bullish there. We can see the banks are, are bullish. These guys are. I've got a bullish pattern in here. I mean, the good news about this is that I know the move down here is corrective at least, even though this had this really sharp move here. I mean, it could, I could be totally wrong, and we get basically this is down for wave 1 here, and ABC for wave 2, down for 1, back for 2, and then a strong wave 3 all the way down, and then a 4 and a 5. So that's all on the cards here as well. But I don't think that we're going to miss this anyway, because even if this occurred here, this would go up to this point. It would come back to this low here, and then it would bounce off this in 3 waves, and then we would get it on this side, any breakthrough on this side, So we're not going to miss it. We just need to be patient and allow the market to set up and prove to us that it's got a particular direction that we actually understand and that we can work with. That's all. Okay, I think I'll just leave it at that. Cheers.